Well, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and a technicolor rainbow in between, this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Chris, a Boingo Writer Gaston, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner in this endeavor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am sweet, I am sour, I am feeling the power right here at the top of the hour. The Vacuuminator is here.
Hell to the bell to the yeah. It's another week of the pro wrestling. It's another week of the alley. You saw what I did there?
I see. I see what you did. I see. You did a thing.
Yeah.
You're a clever boy.
Yeah. What's your favorite battery? Is it ah or ah?
I'm a kind of guy.
Okay, cool. No, this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast Live, where we talk about wrestling every week. Specifically the kind of wrestling we like, and we do it live.
Yeah, which is literally just AEW and nothing else at this point.
I mean, we like New Japan to an extent when we watch it.
We respect New Japan. I don't know that we watch it regularly.
We don't watch it, but like when I see some New Japan stuff that I like, I'll go like, yeah, fuck yeah, New Japan.
Yeah. I don't know. Something happened on Impact a little bit ago because Impact literally just finished airing when we went live. That I was like, oh, that's neat. But didn't you do that like 5 months ago? Whatever. It's Impact, you're fine. Keep doing your thing. You guys will have fans back soon.
Yeah. Yep. But in the meantime, AEW's back on the road. Wahoo!
We did it, everybody. COVID is over. Definitely. Positively. Absolutely. There's no trace of it left. Shut up.
No, there's no new mutant strands or anything.
Shut up.
Everybody has a vaccine in the world.
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking clip from one of Joey's like streams?
Anime Man, you mean?
Anime Joey.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't keep up with their individual content that well.
It's just a clip I saw. Someone reposted it, like one of those clips for streamers do. He was talking about how 65 that there's plenty of vaccines for people who are over 65 years old in Japan, and he was like 7% of them have taken it. And just the utter gall and disbelief in his face was just like, "Fuck, dude, I."
Japanese are on a different wavelength, especially the old people. We love Japan here at Modular Media, but they are some conservative ass motherfuckers.
And it's a different kind of conservative. Like, there's American conservative, which is realistically neo-fascism.
Yeah.
And then there's Japanese conservative, which is actually probably genuinely conservative. Probably a little bit on financial, probably a little bit on the economic and socio-political. But I wouldn't say they're harmless, especially considering some of the aspects of xenophobia that they might exhibit. But overall, they're conservative in a oh grandma kind of way, and not a oh god grandma kind of way. You know what I mean?
Not a oh god damn it, Uncle Greg got the invite somehow.
There's a slight difference. But that
It's very
7%,
subtle.
that's an oh god grandma moment.
Uh-huh.
But no, AEW seems to be doing everything they can to be safe in this, to do this right, to do this as effectively
I
as
still
possible.
saw people with masks in the crowd last night.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Good folks. Good on them. It was
Mostly.
it was in Miami. Oh yeah, no, we're gonna have to talk about that. We're gonna have to talk about that during the Jericho segment.
Yeah.
But this was the first AEW on the road outside of Jacksonville since I can't remember. Probably like
16 months, they
16
said.
months. Yeah.
And that fucked me up, honestly. Like, we were joking about it at the start of the pandemic, like, oh, this is hard to get used to. It'll be hard to get used to it going back to normal. No, legitimately, I could not process the way some stuff looked last night. I was like, what the fuck? Where's the Daily's Place sign? What's going on here?
Like, no joke. the fact that all the smoke from the pyro stayed in the building fucked me up the most. Because they've been in
Yeah,
Daly's
because
place.
some of the cameras look grainy.
Because they've been in Daly's place, which is an outside venue. So all the smoke just goes away. But here it's just like, no, it's dark, it's dingy, it's gritty, which works perfectly for AEW.
Yeah. Oh my lord. And it was a sold out crowd, which was awesome. But
Yeah. I also loved how low it felt like the ceiling was with the lights around the ring.
yeah, because I told you last week, right? The place they were running out of is like a concert hall. It's
Mm-hmm.
not typically a wrestling arena.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure there used to be wrestling in there a long time ago, back in the NWA days, so.
Always some history.
Oh, yeah. You know Cody and his love of historic wrestling.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Um,
But in the meantime, we do have some backstage. It's not backstage. Behind the
it's
kayfabe material.
auxiliary content.
Yeah.
Um, but
AEW Gaiden.
Yeah, this week we got BTE number 263, Mustache, and Sammy Vlog number 327, Goodbye. Two very different episodes, so I'll go over BTE first real quick. A lot of stuff building up the Peter Avalon Leva Bates storyline. That's sort of seeming like it's going to come to a head again because yeah, he got called out on for dodging the fact that he likes her, and she's clearly with Alex Reynolds now. So it's very sad, it's very uncomfortable. He's gotta figure something out at this point. But then the big thing that had everyone talking was the Bucks confronted the Dark Order after what happened on Dynamite. They basically said like you know, we gave you this platform and you kind of took over our show, and now you're using that power to try and screw over our friend. So you're fucking banned. Get the hell out of BT. No more. And like they're all freaking out, they're angry, and they're basically just like, tough shit. We don't want you on here anymore, and it's either that or your jobs. And they're like, well, what are we gonna do then? Where are we gonna go? And I think it was either Matt or Nick went and, oh, just go to Sammy's vlog. I'm sure he's gonna need more people now that we're getting out of Jacksonville. Oh, and then whichever was the other one just went, yeah, go to BTE Dark, which has been a joke on Sammy's vlog for a little bit of the Bucks calling it BTE Dark. But it was just hilarious to see that come over into this bit. And that's where we're kind of left. We're left hanging with the Dark Order. We don't know what's going to happen with them next. And among other things, that was how BT went this week. And then in Sammy's vlog, very, very bittersweet episode because it's mainly centered around the various side characters that had developed on Sammy's vlog, like Fuego del Sol, like Kylan King, Baron Black, and a few others who aren't going to be able to come on the road with them. And of course, it's centered around Fuego del Sol the most. He got a lot of segments, especially ones where the other members of his boy band were trying to get him a contract. His mentor, Dustin Rhodes, tried to get him a contract at one point, and both times he just stops them. He goes like, no, don't go begging Tony Khan. Don't go begging Cody. We've tried everything. I got over as fuck. I didn't get the contract. It's okay. This kind of thing happens sometimes. It's nobody's fault. It's just the way business goes. And you know what? At least I've got all this clout I can take with me to the Indies, and maybe I'll see you guys again someday. But for now, we got to part ways, and that's just the way life goes. It's not as bad as it is. I'm already in the acceptance stage. Which was great because we then go to a bit that happened on Dynamite after it went off the air, where the Dark Order and Cody and a couple of members of the Nightmare family are in the ring because last week Dynamite aired on Cody's birthday, so there were a lot of people out there with a cake for him and singing happy birthday. And he goes, "Before I blow it out, I'm going to tell you guys my wish." And somebody in the crowd yells, "Sign Fuego." And Cody pauses and he goes, "It is not Sign Fuego, but it's." And then he notices Fuego standing on his chair in the crowd, and he's like, "Oh, he's in the crowd. Get in here." Um, so Fuego comes to the ring, and Cody goes, "My wish is that Jacksonville remains AEW's spiritual home from now on, and that all the people who have helped us in our time here and can't come with us have a good career going forward." Um, and then QT Marshall comes out, who before he even turned heel on Cody was like a heel for Fuego on Sammy's vlog. And he's there with Aaron Solo, and they're basically like, "This is fucking bullshit. Nobody wants to see Cody blow out his birthday candles. Fuego del Sol sucks. Let's get all of these people out of here. The show's already over." And it erupts into a big brawl, which ends with the birthday cake getting dumped all over Aaron Solo, and QT Fuego hitting the tornado DDT on QT Marshall, and that's how the vlog effectively ends, for now. We don't know what's going to happen with Sammy's vlog going forward, because it's going to have to fundamentally change with a lot of characters missing. So yeah, just a really, really great couple of episodes of auxiliary content this week.
Yeah, it definitely. Maybe Sammy's goes back to being more of a travel situation.
I could see that. He's still got some people that are side characters that are signed to AEW, like Charlie, the backstage hand, who has had this like delusional "I was the BT champion for 5 seconds" thing going on for a few weeks, and he even has a bit where he's like, "Oh, Fuego del Sol's gone. That's awesome. Now that guy won't be asking me for a contract every 5 seconds." Bit, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It definitely feels like Fuego is. I wouldn't say like guaranteed to something in the future, but like if he ever gets signed to a major, it's AEW. He's probably never going to touch WWE.
Oh yeah, I would be very surprised. Like, unless he, I hate to be this guy, but unless he bulks up like crazy, I don't see Vince or Hunter going after him.
Yeah. Even if he becomes like the next big popular thing on the indies. But it's nice that there's some videos that happen like that. There's one video, and very specific.
And it was hilarious because, like, I woke up and I think it was Cassie Lee, wife of Sean Spears, who posted on her Instagram that morning, like, "Hey, I just got this new gear yesterday, and it's only one more week until my 90 days are up. I'm so excited." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I go and do a bunch of stuff all day, and then I get on my phone like 2 or 3 hours before Dynamite, and this thing dropped, and I sent it right to you.
So, I've made it no unknown thing on this podcast that my favorite wrestler, bar none, is Tommy End. That's who it is. I love that man. Like, the way this person loves Cody, I love that man. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. And I haven't been watching him because I don't want to watch WWE. Even if I get like those few minutes of like him doing his thing, I just don't want to deal with WWE.
You do not need to hear Michael Cole say "Black Mass."
Yeah. So, part of me was ecstatic to see him get off of WWE. Yeah, no, you never want someone to lose their job. You never want someone to have to worry about their finances or anything. Here's the thing. I was never worried about his finances because he's Tommy fucking End.
Yeah. He's got stonks.
He's got... The day he got released, on his Instagram, he was like, "Oh hey, by the way, I have a clothing brand. Here's 10 shirts. They are all awesome. Buy them." And I'm like, "Fuck, I have no money. I have no money, sir." No, dude, it's legit. It's, guess what it's called?
What is it?
Black Mass.
Of course it is. That's I saw that name change and I was literally like, oh, he only did that because he wants to keep Black Mass as the name of his finisher.
Oh no, no, no. So like I've been waiting. I've been going like, oh fuck yeah, I can't wait to see what he does. I was thinking, oh man, he may go to New Japan. He may go. He can go anywhere, and I'll pay attention.
I like literally I was thinking he's either going back home to work the indies there, or he's gonna go with ROH or AEW.
Yeah, I was thinking New Japan just because he's such a big striker. They might want to tap that because they love strikers. But I've just been waiting, just going, all right, cool, he's going to be doing his thing. And then there were some rumors of like, oh, he may rejoin WWE, and I'm going like, he's not going to rejoin WWE. And it's not just because, oh, he doesn't want to go back to WWE. I have a feeling if like everything was perfect, yeah, he'd still be in WWE.
Did you have that thought at all when we found out that Selena Vega had resigned? Of like, oh no, like just oh man, does that mean he's gonna resign too?
No, because I've seen how their relationship works off camera, and they're very like, we are happily together, but we respect each other's independence.
Hmm.
You know, that kind of thing. So I've just been waiting, seeing what will happen. But like my reasoning behind him not going back to WWE was that he just started or just like reinvigorated that clothing brand. And you know how WWE is all about like, hey, you can't use your name and your likeness to promote another product.
Use our stuff always only. We are literally Apple, but for wrestling.
But you know what I mean? So it was like the immediate thought was like he wouldn't go back because he already has his new business venture. It seems such a waste to immediately get rid of it. He doesn't seem like that kind of spontaneous kind of person. He seems very calculating as a businessman. So today he dropped a John Moxley-esque vignette. I've seen people make the comparisons mainly due to the subject material of this vignette. But we open up on a scene with a doctor and a ward, who many people might recognize the ward as Josiah Williams. Otherwise,
I spent half the video just going, "Is that him? That kind of looks. I don't know."
It's Josiah Williams, who got really big and popular on the internet for doing rap remixes of NXT themes. So much so that he got signed to basically be like a PR social media manager for NXT. He recently got let go as well, so it's nice to see him here. And they're basically talking about like, oh no, there's this patient we have to deal with. It's Tom. We have to deal with Tom. And if you look on the patient sheet, it says Tommy and a name's crossed out. And like, there's a bunch of references like, oh, he showed up in 2017. He debuted in NXT in 2017.
Yeah,
little things like that. And they're freaking out. It's like, okay, we got to go deal with the fucking madman. They go into the
and importantly, Josiah Williams' character had been attacked by him in a previous interview. It said.
I think part of me is also going like, did that happen in like one of the NXT Performance Center videos on YouTube?
Might have.
It could have been like a thing. I don't know. But we go into this chamber to talk to Tommy, and it's full of Hannibal Lecter. It's perfect. It's beautiful. He's chained up, and they basically like take off an eye patch and they go like, all right, your eye is healing. It's still a little fucked up, but it's like your eye is healing. You got into a fight with another inmate, Matthew. Do you know the reference there?
That's Buddy Murphy, because Buddy Murphy, back when he was with Seth Rollins, tried to shove Aleister Black's eye into steel stairs.
Yep. Uh, and basically, there's a back and forth. Basically, the doctors are saying, "Your name is Tommy. You've been in this insane asylum for 5 years. You need to snap out of it." And Tommy is basically
It,
repeatedly going, "I'm not Tommy." And when he first said that, I was thinking, oh, he's Alistair. You know, that kind of he's in that I'm Alistair Black mindset. But
but
I
also, like, they're saying you've been in this asylum for however many years it is, comparable to the amount of time he was in WWE.
Yep,
And we keep telling you these things, and you keep not accepting them,
right.
which to me is like, oh, are these two avatars for Hunter and Vince?
I can definitely see that. There could be some parallels there, but basically they go like da, 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 and it brings on a psychotic episode where Tommy is able to break his chains and slash the throat of the doctor and antagonize Josiah, and he just basically walks out of the insane asylum humming a tune saying "The devil made me do it." As we fade to black, the words "The devil made me do it" appear on screen, and we get a hint at his new persona in the credits.
And we find out the new name is Malachi Black.
Which, first things first, I like how he kept the last name Black.
Mm-hmm.
It's a respect to his time in WWE. It's a respect to his time in NXT, which his time in NXT is golden. But also really like the name Malachi. It keeps that kind of old timey Satanist vibe.
It's also the name of the other Jackson brother.
I don't
Matt and
think
Nick
it's
have a
really.
third brother. I know, but I just found that hilarious.
That's gonna be a BTE bit one day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I just realized he was in on all of the pro wrestling gorilla shenanigans. Do you think Malachi will ever be on BTE?
I hope so, honestly.
Because remember, he was part of the thumb butt train
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Ciampa, Jushin Thunder Liger. Who else was in that?
I don't know, a bunch of motherfuckers.
Gargano, I think, was in it. Part of me wants to say Chuck T was in it. I don't know. No, Chucky T
Oh,
was part of the invisible hand grenade.
yeah, I was about to say, I remember Trent being in that.
Yeah, Trent. But, this segment was beautiful, perfect, wonderful, amazing.
This segment, this short film released to Instagram.
Oh, no, I love it. It's so good. It
Yeah. I like how you compared it to John Moxley, but it reminded me of EC3 when he first got out.
See, my comparison to John Moxley is due to the symbolism and the metaphor, because John Moxley used a prison as a metaphor for WWE,
Hmm.
as being chained down, as being held down, of being unable to do what he wants, that kind of thing. While Malachi Black is using the insane asylum as sort of like a metaphor for gaslighting, I would say, of him asserting, "No, I'm not Tommy," and them going, "No, you are," as basically saying, I wasn't allowed to be what I thought the character was. I was forced to be Undertaker 2.0.
Because, like, have you listened to any of the interviews that have come out with him since the release?
No, I haven't really. I haven't been paying enough attention to see where he's been popping up.
The ones I know of are he was on Oral Sessions and Drinks with Johnny. I haven't listened to Drinks with Johnny yet, but in Oral Sessions, a lot of it came back to um, I kept being told we're gonna do this thing in a couple of weeks, and then it kept getting pushed back and it kept getting changed, and I was constantly coming up with ideas and having really good collaboration with the writers I was working with. But then when it came time to actually do these things, for a very long time, it was just, well, we need to hold off a little longer.
Right. Which can be very frustrating for a creative individual like him. Also, I like how he's continuing what people were really enjoying with his last WWE gimmick of the
Yeah.
Dark Father. Like he's seemingly continuing some of that element.
Yeah, and he did say he wanted to do that. He said like we had only just begun to explore this character, and I definitely don't want to just leave it out in the cold.
This also just feels like a very good distillation of his entire time in WWE, his entire character of the Satanist, the unsure, the mentally ill, that kind of whole combining without being overtly supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like people were going like, "Oh, he's possessed," and it's like, no, he's not possessed. Part of his delusion might be he believes he's possessed, but you're not supposed to know whether he is or isn't.
No, no,
He's
he's
early Bray Wyatt.
you know what he is? He's Grant Morrison if they went off their meds.
Yeah, like if Grant Morrison wrote a horror character, this would be it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I wouldn't even imagine, I wouldn't be even that surprised if Malachi read Grant Morrison comics. You know,
Yeah.
he seems like the kind of dude who would do that. But no, this was beautiful. This was amazing. I cannot wait to see what happens with this. All of this. There's a big wink there. But we have to be big and winky there because we'll get into it. So why don't you lead off with your boy?
Do we want to take a quick break first, though?
You know what? We've been going on for a half a tick. So why don't we go for a quick break, get some drinks, get some piss,
Okay.
bring back the piss, put the drink down the toilet.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, we'll be back in just a second, folks. And folks, we're back for more wrestling goodness. Speaking of wrestling goodness, tell us about the apparent goodest boy of this old US
All
of
right.
A.
Well, Dynamite opened up this week with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes with the Enforcer Arn Anderson versus QT Marshall with Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado in a South Beach strap match. Thank God Justin Roberts explained the rules of this match before it started because I legitimately had no idea going into this show and I was a little annoyed about that. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this match. This was great from start to finish, I thought. The QT feud has really been all over the place, and Cody felt like he was in a bit of a rut for a while there. But no, despite him still coming out with the full American regalia, and he wore the Homelander gear to last night, but I thought this was a great match, and it kind of like reaffirmed like, nah, Cody's a good ass wrestler. I love his matches. Like, yeah, he has weird choices sometimes, but it's not like he's a fucking carbon copy of me. Whatever. This match is great. Cody's great. I love him, and I was glad to get to see this new to me match type on display. And I'm also glad that even though this is basically the end of the QT feud and he's pretty definitively defeated, QT didn't just get squashed. He got a lot of shit in this match and looked like a very solid performer himself.
I think that gets glossed over a lot when everybody starts making the lol Cody wins jokes. Like
Cody gives a lot.
Cody
is
never
a very
squashes.
unselfish wrestler.
He wins, but it's also like they're trying to keep, like, for lack of a better way of describing, he's their jewel upper mid card.
Mm-hmm. Like, he has his spots. He has his set stuff that he does to keep the match going. And he knows how to save and carry a match if he needs to. But if somebody else can go, he'll let them go. He doesn't want to make other people look bad.
Right. But, like, people always just go, like, oh, Cody just wins. It's like, no, Cody loses a lot.
Yeah.
And when he loses definitively. It's not like a screwy finish. He never loses in a screwy way. He always wins. He always loses in a definitive, like, pin in the middle of the ring kind of way.
Remember, MJF's big win early on was that he beat Cody.
Yeah.
And Cody never got his shit back. He teased starting to feud up again at one point, but we still haven't gotten that. And at this point, I don't think we will. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm disappointed that Cody always wins. There are times when I go like, oh man, I wish a Go-Go would have won.
That's fair.
There's moments like that where I wish like, I feel like the story could have worked better if they had won. Understanding that Cody, for lack of a better way of describing it, is kind of like a kryptonite bullet for like Superman-sized problems.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get someone over? Easiest thing to do, have a match with Cody, because Cody knows how to put on a solid fucking match.
Yeah.
Because if you put on a match with, like, some other really good wrestler in AEW, like, you have to keep up with their pace. You have to be about as that good in order to make a really good match. Cody can, essentially, carry a wrestler a little bit easier. And I'm not saying, like, carry as in, like, they take a shit wrestler and make them okay. I mean, they take a good wrestler and make them great.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, do I need to tell everybody to go rewatch the Shaq match?
Exactly. Biggest thing. Like, Cody is their go-to. We need a simple feud for cross promotion.
Because everybody else in that ring in the Shaq match, because it was Cody and 3 other people, and each one of those 3 other people all had less than a year's worth of experience at the most.
They were all varying levels of green.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so to an extent, like he is a very valuable thing for AEW to have. so long as he has a good winning streak, as long as he has a good couple of wins under his belt.
Mhm.
If he loses it, then it's just like, oh, you know, it's not as impressive when he has a big match with an outside celebrity. You know, I guarantee you, Stephen Amell is probably going to want to do some cross promotion with AEW when his show starts airing.
Oh yeah, I'll be super excited for that because I've seen the All In match. Mel can go.
Yeah,
Um,
but like, who who would you trust in AEW to have that match with Stephen Amell,
how
other
about the
than
guy that fucking trained him?
yeah, like makes the most goddamn sense. Uh,
But the match does end, of course, with Cody winning. He hits 3 consecutive crossroads on QT, and then, as per the rules of the match, touches all 4 corner turnbuckles, and that is the victory for you.
real quick, how do you feel about just the idea of this stipulation? Do you like this stipulation in the modern context?
I feel like in this match it was handled extremely well. I could see it getting a little annoying in other matches, and I also think it would feel a lot more tense if the strap itself was like half the size it was in this match, because it was like fire hose size in this match. And I get why they did that. They wanted to have some spots where one or the other guy got tangled up in it, but I was like, I was waiting for the spot, and it wasn't until about halfway to match when I realized it wasn't physically possible. I was waiting for the spot where they both have free corners and they're like tug of warring each other across the ring to try and get to one of the
I
corners.
mean, they can do that spot. They just have to pick up some of the slack.
Yeah.
It's possible to do. It's possible. I think. I'm not sure how I feel about this being the ending of a feud kind of stipulation. This feels more like the middle of a feud kind of stip.
Hmm. Maybe the thing is a bit of an interlude, and maybe QT will come back for more around Revolution time.
Who knows? I think this match was good. I like how much the crowd was into it, counting down.
Oh yeah, everybody was like flipping out from the moment Cody's theme hit, which was insane.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great opener, and it's also not like your typical opener because this was also it's not technical, but it was deliberate. It was a very deliberate style kind of match.
Uh-huh. A lot of big corner spots.
Yeah, very old school, very wrestling.
Hmm.
But no, we're in the South.
Get people out of their seats, get them excited.
Yeah. But up next, we have a promo segment with Sean Spears going like, "Yo, I hit Sammy Guevara. That's fucking great. I nutted when I did it. Ha ha ha. Chair tonk." And Sammy just goes like, "You thought, bitch."
That was legitimately fucking hilarious.
That was such a good little segment, and also realigns what the feud's gonna be with Inner Circle versus Pinnacle.
Uh-huh.
Because it was
I
cool that
also Go ahead.
because it was cool that MJF and Sammy Guevara had their like little mini feud to show the future of the company. But realistically, it's leader versus leader, second in command, muscle, tag team. You know.
Yeah. Wolverine fights Iron Man. He doesn't fight Captain America.
Yeah.
Because they're buddies. They're old war pals. But yeah, it was a solid little promo. Very very quick and snappy. Which it wasn't until just this morning that I realized like, oh, that was probably as short as it was. Because for those of you who don't follow Sammy on Twitter, his editor crashed while he was exporting the vlog on Tuesday, so he had to spend Wednesday morning completely re-editing and exporting it.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonder what program he uses.
I guess he's probably like a Premiere or a Vegas guy.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
just. I think it's just us two weirdos using hit film.
yeah, and I will champion that software till the end of time.
Yeah.
Uh, But after that, we get an in-ring segment where Tony Schiavone welcomes out Don Callis and Kenny Omega, and Don Callis basically gives the same promo that Kenny gave last week, which I know some people were kind of dogging on them for that, but I kind of interpret that in my mind of like Kenny going backstage and be like, Uncle Don, they didn't believe me. Tell everybody it's true that I've beaten everybody I can beat. And he's like, fine, I'll go out next week. But Don basically goes, there's nobody left Kenny can beat. He's beaten everybody. We might have to call somebody in from the indies to give him a real challenge. And the entire crowd is just going crazy, chanting for Hangman. There's a cowboy shit chant. There's a you got fired chant towards Dawn. There's a legitimate just we want Hangman chant, which made me so happy to hear. And then the Dark Order comes out, and Evil Uno is basically like, yo, give the people what they want. Fight my friend. And Kenny's like, can I ask you a question? What's the capital of Thailand? And brawl erupts after the obvious answer. And Hangman comes out to save the day and break everything up. He just runs roughshod over the entire elite, eventually getting to a point where he's set up for a buckshot on Kenny, who's in the center of the ring, and he just stops, and they just stare at each other, and they walk towards each other until after a beat, Kenny escapes, runs into the tunnel, and that's where we are. It looks like I know no other way to put it, so I apologize, but I was right, you were wrong. They're going full on into this feud.
Here's the thing. I think they are going into this feud. I think Hangman's losing.
Really?
Because Hangman needs to accept failure. He's accepted that he can't, he's accepted that he can fail. He needs to accept that he has failed. And it doesn't ruin everything. You know what I mean?
You think maybe he loses at Fyter Fest, but then re-challenges at All Out?
I don't know. No, I think he loses that All Out. I think he loses at the next pay-per-view.
Dude, if he loses that All Out, there'll be a fucking riot.
Yeah, but the story would be better. Because right now, he is fighting... Okay, follow me here. Why is Hangman going after Omega right now?
Because everybody said they believe in him?
Yeah, they believe in him. He doesn't believe in himself.
Well, yeah, because right now he's learning to believe in the them that believe in the me that believes in you, bitch.
Yeah, but have you not seen the end of Gurren Lagann? The end of it is Simeon basically going, yeah, no, I am the shit. That's the point. Is the Dark Order is giving him self-confidence. It's going like, no, we're your friends. We care about you. You can fail. He needs to see that. He needs to not just be told these platitudes. He needs to fail. Fail hard. Fail like he's failed before and shown that it's not a bed of glass looming under him. You know what I mean? That ultimately he can fail and pick himself back up properly. Not with alcohol, not with booze, not with codependency on someone else, but he can pick himself back up.
I don't know. I feel like that's the kind of story they want to tell with the actual match of just Hangman being pushed to his absolute limit and still being able to come back from it inside that 30 to 60 minute period of the title match.
But here's the thing. If he fails, then he's actually aiming for the belt, not because he's accidentally winning and not trying and voiding the belt. He's aiming for the belt the entire time because he wants it. He goes like, "Oh no, I'm good. I can get close." To me, the Hangman right now that we have is going for the belt because one, that's what you're supposed to do. Two, his friends are encouraging him. He has a little bit more self confidence. He's not going for the belt because like he wants it. He's going for the belt because Evil
No,
Uno's.
he wants it. I told you about that bit on BTE.
Here's the thing, bro. Follow me.
I'm trying, but you're making it hard.
I'm not. It's fucking right there in the text. Fucking pay attention, bitch.
I think I'm just reading it. I'm reading it a different way than you are. I have a different translation.
Okay, because if Hangman wanted the belt, he would have been the one confronting Omega. That's the point. It's Evil Uno confronting him. It's the Dark Order on his behalf. He's not the one taking the step. The Dark Order are the ones taking the step for him. In order for him to truly move forward, to truly be the bigger person, become a better person, he needs to take those steps on his own. Yes, from encouragement from his friends, but like he can't be dragged into it, which is what he's being done. He needs to walk into it head up, face forward.
And I mean, like, yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds like a much more detailed version of it. But that could take a whole other year to do. And I feel like the mentality that the powers that be in AEW, the bookers, are gonna have is Hangman is hot now. We have a great opportunity to put the title on him at All Out. Why don't we do it then? And even then, me saying that, at the end of the day, neither of us fucking know what's gonna happen. All Out is like 3 months away right now, and fucking things could change between now and then.
Right. And who says I'm right and who says I'm wrong, but I'm just saying right now, as it stands, that feels like the direction. Because also, Kenny Omega's hot.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega's super fucking over. And I'm not saying like we wait another year. I am saying we get to this next pay-per-view, he loses, goes like, oh shit, I was close. I feel good about myself. I failed, and there's people behind me. Oh shit, I can actually do this. And for the next 3 months till the next pay-per-view, at Full Gear, his pay-per-view, named after his gimmick in BTE, the show that The Elite made and kicked him out of, he trains that entire time. Goes for it. Win, 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 win. All the while, Kenny Omega starts losing his other belts. Because that's the thing. Remember, Kenny Omega is injured. He wants to rest a bit. And he can't do that when he has all these other belts. So he starts losing all these belts. He loses the Impact. He loses this. He loses that. All the building up to Full Gear. And Full Gear, Hangman walks in with a broken Kenny Omega. And he wins.
I won't deny that that sounds like a good story. I don't feel like it's the one they're going to tell first.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. They have used loss to fuel future things a lot.
That's fair, but I also feel like wrestling audience, how much longer can you really tease them out and make them stay?
I don't know. They've done it for 3 years.
That's fucking fair.
3 years. What is 6 months to 3 years?
All right. Well, you got the next segment.
Alrighty. Up next, we have a really dope sit-down interview. Jim Ross with Darby Allin and Ethan Page, basically going like, "All right, you fuckers, sit down and explain yourselves."
Tell Grandpa what the problem is.
Because the original plan was to have a coffin match this week, but there was recently a collapsed building in Miami, and they felt it was in poor taste to do a coffin match when so many people just recently died.
Rightly so.
Rightly so. So they did this segment, which I'm so glad they did, because this adds so many layers to this fucking match.
Yeah, it makes it go from like a standard heel versus face match to one that actually has history and character behind it.
because basically Ethan Page goes like, yeah, no, I do have a problem with this guy because he's a young upstart who, like, who skipped the line essentially. He took the place of people who've been working hard and grinding, and just because he looks a little bit different, just because he's big and flashy, he was able to skip the line. That kind
Well,
of
no,
stuff.
he's small and flashy.
You know what I mean? Big in
Yeah.
personality. And Darby basically goes like, yeah, because I worked hard too. You just sat on your ass and were content, waiting for someone to hand you your thing. I went there to, like, grab it from the ether, you know?
Yeah. Because the big thing I picked up on was Darby saying, I lived out of my car and had to like sneak into Gold's gym every day for years, while you had a comfy suburban home with your high school sweetheart and you just wrestled indie matches on the weekends.
It's very much of, like, desperate drive versus long term workmanship, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is an interesting thing to do because it's like, oh, I can see both points of view in this.
Yeah. Ethan's not. Ethan is the heel in this match, but you can empathize with him.
Right. It's a similar vibe to, like, oh, this new guy got picked for a promotion over me who's been working here for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's like to look within our own circle. It's very much like I could see myself if I was a much less level-headed person looking at Buster and being like, how the fuck is this kid getting so much attention when they just came out of nowhere? I was doing Toku analysis for however long, and nobody ever really gave me the time of day. But I'm not that kind of person. I think very critically about my own work, and I recognize the fact that I've changed my brand so many times that that really has hurt me in the long run.
you're self aware. You're a self aware Digibro.
Yeah.
When they were still Digibro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think post that kind of, like, branding is like,
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of branding, hey, follow Vacuuminator on his socials and on YouTube so you can see some things coming up soon. No, I really dug this sit down interview. Also, it's just a really interesting way to, like, frame it because it's like, oh no, they're at each other's throats, but they're level headed enough to be able to verbally be at each other's throats. Like,
I do wish there was one moment where Ethan overtly tried to go Darby into attacking him, because they made a big deal out of that stipulation last week and it felt like it was forgotten here.
I'm
But
fine with
other
that.
than, yeah, that's like a little nitpick on my part. Other than that, this was a great segment.
I'm fine with that. Also because it frames Ethan Page not as, like, a chicken shit heel. He wants the match. He's just like, dude, I just don't want you to fucking deal. I don't want to fucking deal with you for a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not running away. I just don't want to deal.
And remember, he said it's not about ending his career physically; it's about ending it mentally. So this is less about like, come on, fuck yourself over, and it's more about like, no, let me get in your head just a little more.
Right, which is phenomenal. It's great.
But after that, we have our second match of the night, which is the Pinnacle, comprised of Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and Wardlow, with Tully Blanchard, versus the Inner Circle, comprised of Santana, Ortiz, and Jake Hager, with Conan in a six-man tag that I thought was all right. This match didn't super impress me, but it held its own. The only thing that I could really like count as a strike against it is that Conan and Tully really didn't do much until after.
Which is fair. This just also just feels like it's more set up for, like, later matches. It's setting up for more Wardlow and Hager, setting up more FTR and Proud and Powerful.
You know what it is? It's in the Common Rider series that is this feud. It's a Monster of the Week episode.
Yeah, it was just kind of like keeping the pot stirring, building up heat, doing that kind of stuff. God damn, is Hager over?
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, honestly. I did
Hager
not
is
expect people to
fucking
pop for him.
over. It was nice. It was nice seeing him be over
Yeah.
and like
It's
doing
just
dope shit.
it's just also for me it's like, wow, Jake, out of all the people in this match, Jake Hager is the last person I would expect to be over.
I mean, Wardlow was all of them were over. It's just like it was surprising how much his hot tag got over.
I love that JR pointed out that like Santana has gotten really ripped in the last couple weeks because I dead ass did not notice until he said it. Like JR said, yeah, he's been working out, taking care of his body, trying to be a really good athlete in the ring the last few weeks, and you can really see the improvement just right there in this match. And I was like, holy shit, you're right. That dude is way more ripped than I remember him being.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a solid, just like episodic match. It didn't further the feud, but it didn't lessen the feud.
Yeah, because eventually the match ends with Wardlow pinning Hager after a big rig from FTR, and then there's a bit of a scuffle between Conan and Tully as the Pinnacle makes their escape.
Yep. Again, just keeping the pot stirring. It's fine.
Before we move on, because I brought up Santana, a quick little wholesome fun fact for everybody. This week, Santana's grandmother found his action figure in Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's nice.
And he posted about that on Twitter, and I just thought that was real sweet and real wholesome.
That's sweet. Next up, I'm just getting all the promos. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah.
Next, we have a segment to announce basically an IWGP US Championship match between Jon Moxley and the Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Yeah, which was a total tonal shift for that character, but like a really good one.
I find it is like when he's with the Elite, he's comfortable and he's joking, but when like opportunity like that is put in front of him, Machine Gun turns on.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of vibe I get from it.
Yeah, because the whole package he's talking about, like, yo, that the first champion with that belt was Kenny Omega. That belt belongs to the Elite. I'm taking that belt back for the Elites.
Yeah. And they also showed some clips of Carl Anderson in New Japan, full Machine Gun, and it's just like, damn, that is a 40-year-old, 20-year-old.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for the match. I'm honestly a little surprised that Mox is coming back so soon, but hey, it's gonna be a dope match.
I think maybe right now Mox is probably going to do like maybe one match a month, kind of like one appearance a month while taking care of his kid. That kind of like very less in schedule, but he still shows up every once in a while to do some stuff.
I mean, he's a champion, so he's got a champion schedule.
Yeah. Especially now with America opening back up, some of the American side of New Japan might start popping up on AEW while New Japan can't do anything else with the American title.
Yeah, and I mean, his book is also about to drop, so he might be going to some stores to do some signings.
But, like, Japan's still in lockdown. So Japan's still doing that stuff. So, like, I don't see Japanese New Japan people coming to AEW immediately. But, like, anybody that's, like, a gaijin who lives in America, I can see them using. Or, Japanese wrestlers that live in America right now, like a Hideo Itami. What's his New Japan name?
Kenta.
Kenta.
Mm-hmm.
People like that, you know. But it's also just nice to see the IWGP US title on AEW again, because we had that one match and that was pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't know, it just makes sense to keep that belt around for as long as one of their wrestlers has it.
Yeah. And again, the forbidden door is open, so they probably all they have to do is probably call New Japan and go like, "Hey, we want to put this match on. Do you have anybody in specific, or can we just put a wrestler on it and just have Jon Moxley win?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, should be a good match. And if you don't mind, I think we don't have much else to say, so I'll just go on to the next thing. So the next thing on the card is what was advertised as a face-to-face between Chris Jericho and MJF, but is essentially a contract signing segment. Because MJF comes out to the ring, and then we go to commercial break, and then we come back, and Jericho comes out, and of course everybody's singing along to Judas, having a great time. It was pretty hype until some motherfucker tried to get in the ring, and I saw conflicting reports. Some people said he was going after Jericho. Other people said he was going after MJF. I'm more inclined to believe MJF because fucking I'd want to be the guy. I would not be the guy to jump in the ring, but I'd be the guy who would want to have the I punched MJF story. But
instead they got the I got punched by Chris Jericho story.
Yeah, because very quickly Justin Roberts and a couple of security guys start pulling him off of the ring, and Jericho just runs up, socks him real quick, and runs back. And the guy was dragged out of the ring and out of the stadium on the floor. Like, they held him to the floor and dragged his ass out. Just really quickly, because they're professionals, Jericho and MJF went on with the segment, which was really nice, really cool.
MJF saved it though, because he immediately went like, any other you fat fucks wants to get in here, I'm gonna whip your ass, essentially.
Mm-hmm. It was certainly a thing that happened, and should not be a thing that happens again. If you're listening to this and you're a wrestling fan, don't try and get in the ring to assault wrestlers. It's not very nice.
Or even just to hang out with them, because, like, I'm pretty sure the dude who went to, like, Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame thing just wanted to, like, touch Bret Hart.
Mm.
You know?
But then
he did tackle Bret Hart. He did tackle Bret Hart. I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I was thinking of the time at WrestleMania when Piper got a win and a random like kid got in the ring and hugged him, and he was just like, "Yeah, okay.
This is a kid. We can't punch him."
Mm-hmm. But to get back into the segment, they sit down, and MJF is basically like, "All right, Jericho, I know you want another match. Yep. I know that even though I've already beat you twice, you seem to think you can beat me one more time, and for some reason I'm supposed to deign to you and bend over to your will and just like, yeah, the almighty Chris Jericho wants a match, better give it to him. All right, if you want to do that, we're going to do it my way." And my way happens to be that I'm a bit of a fan of Greek mythology, and one of my favorite tales of all time is the labors of Hercules, the many labors of Hercules. And if you want to get to me, much like when Cody Rhodes had to get to me, you're gonna have to go through a certain number of labors, Jericho. You're gonna have to face off against. Did he say 4 or 5?
4, with him being the 5th.
Okay, you're gonna have to face 4 wrestlers of my choosing before you can get to me. And you will have to beat them. Jericho basically goes like, "All right, I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes because I'm gonna beat you." And he signs the contract, and there's a bit of tension, and he's like, "You better fucking shake on it." And so they shake, and then he does some shit to MJF and leaves. And of course, a lot of people are now speculating like, "Oh, obviously Jericho's going to have to fight the entire Pinnacle." I'm not super into that. And then Ollie Davis on Wrestle Talk today said like, "Oh, they should invert it. He should have to fight the entire Inner Circle." And because they have an honor among thieves thing of we don't lie down for each other. But while I do like that, I want them to get creative with this. I want MJF bringing in hired guns. I want Jeff Cobb back in AEW for this. I want fucking Warhorse to get a match with Chris Jericho. Bring Pineapple Pete back. Let's get a couple weird and a bunch of scary looking indie motherfuckers in for this shit.
I know only one indie motherfucker I want to see in this. With the fact that Tony Khan just recently said, oh yeah, those are a match type I want to do again. Fourth Trial. Nick Gage and an exploding barbed wire death match.
Hell yeah.
Dude. Come on, give Nick Gage that fucking... Not only are you going to be on one of the biggest stages in the world, you're going up against one of the biggest stars of professional wrestling ever.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a rub for him, and you know he'd do it, and he'd do it in badass indie style.
Especially because, like, with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston there, to basically be, hey, we're your friends, but we're also making sure that you're not going to fuck up. For lack of a better way of putting it, because, like, yeah, Nick Gage is cool. I've seen the documentary. He does seem like the kind of guy who can easily make a mistake. Not on purpose, but, like, I've seen people like that who can fall in bad habits easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would want him to have the best possibility of everything succeeding for him in this kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want everything to work out for him. And if you have to have Jon Moxley there breathing down your neck going like, don't fuck up, bro, so be it.
Oh, you know, for like the week or two that he'd be there, like Gage, Mox, and Eddie would just be the loudest, rowdiest drinking buddy motherfuckers backstage. With
Darby Allin being the little brother going like, can I hang out? Can I hang out? Guys, can I hang?
Like, and they'd be like, yeah!
Sting's the old man designated driver. Jesus Christ, you fucking assholes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can...
Sting's tapping on Moxley's shoulder like, now remember, you said you would pay for my dinner because I'm driving you everywhere.
And I got like a fucking WWE money. It's just, fuck. You know how much they pay? Yeah. No, I had some matches there. You had some matches in WWE? Shit.
We don't talk about them.
Who'd you fight? Hunter.
Yeah, brother.
Oh, God. I love Salty Sting as a gag. No, this segment's good. I definitely don't think it's Pinnacle. If it was Pinnacle, he would have said Pinnacle. And I think MJF is the kind of person who go like, yeah, no, I could make you go through the torment of fighting the Inner Circle, but you guys would like that because you're fucking weirdos.
You know? This needs to be torture. This needs to be pain. This needs to be grit and grime, and it needs to really end.
Yeah, and like bringing in like big people from the indies and like other like, imagine if one of them's like Minoru Suzuki.
I just thought of that. I didn't think of Suzuki, but dude, Okada.
No, not Okada.
Yes, Okada, because Jericho
Tanahashi.
No, dude, Jericho has pre-existing beef with Okada from New Japan.
So does Tanahashi.
Man. I can't pick.
Like, cause this feels like a fucking retirement angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, imagine Tanahashi, his biggest rival in New Japan. Like, just let's go through them all. He's going through pain, going through all of that. Oh, it could still be good. It'd be good. But, do we have anything else to say about this segment before we just start fantasy booking again?
No, yeah, why don't you take the, yeah, you go ahead and take the next thing.
Yeah, we have, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, cutting a promo, basically going like, hey, yo, Tony, you wanted Andrade so bad, you would give, Vicky Guerrero any match she wanted. And she got the match she wanted, but look, now my assistant Legit shoot injured. You're a fucking asshole. Hope you enjoyed your blood money. Next thing we know, we're gonna be doing shows in Saudi Arabia.
Which felt like a step too far to me, if I'm to be honest.
I can get that. It was a point to go like, oh, it's the heel going too far, insinuating
It's good
things.
damage control for last week. I'll give it that.
I can get why people might be upset with it. I was fine with the Saudi Arabia joke because it was just like, oh. I mean, she could have also been like, next thing you know, we're going to be doing a show in North Korea. It's like, that probably would have worked better because it's unrelated to WWE, but it's also like an authoritarian dictatorship kind of bullshit thing.
This is weird.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's fine.
But,
good promo, though.
But speaking of Andrade, after that we get Matt Sydal versus Andrade El Idolo with Vicky Guerrero. I probably completely fucked that up, but fuck it. I'm sorry to say I did not like this match. I thought it looked like at the time, I thought it looked like Andrade had a good bit of ring rust on him. I listened to Wrestling Observer this morning, and they were saying it looked like he was being far too giving in the match. And then I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, yeah, that sounds much more right. It looks more like he's trying to let Sydal get shit in so he doesn't just get squashed, but he's still there to get his shit in and be put over. It's just a weird match the way it plays out because it's kind of slow and awkward at the start, and then Sydal gets a lot of shit in, and then Andrade hits a couple of big moves, and that's really it. It feels like a weirdly paced match to me.
I wonder if it's the chemistry between the two wrestlers, if that was it. Because I don't think Andrade's gotten bad or anything. I just think it might just be the chemistry between the two of them. Anything like that. It could be any number of things. I don't think it was the banger that everybody was immediately wanting out of Andrade.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was awesome seeing him hit that destroyer. That was great.
Yeah. I like his entrance gear. I like the suit, and I like the big, basically black mask Batman villain.
Yeah, he's fucking cosplaying Black Mask to the ring. That was great, though it did throw me off that unfortunately there were audio issues with his entrance music this week.
Yeah. I don't like how it was a pull-away suit.
That was a bit weird, yeah.
I mean, he has an assistant there. Take off the jacket while you're walking down. Unbutton the suit. Take off the tie. That's badass. A motherfucker taking off a suit ready to kick ass? That's some Yakuza video game. Shit. Like, that's the vibe I was kind of getting with the suit and everything. It was like, oh god, Andrade, patriarch of the Idolo clan. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. This whole segment, it sets Andrade up as a threat in the ring fairly well. It just doesn't impress a whole lot on its own, I think.
The setup was good. The punchline wasn't as much.
But after that, we get a real quick video package hyping up Matt Hardy versus Christian Cage at Firefest. Just a lot of shit we've already seen, so not much to say there. But,
it's a very metatextual kind of feud. It's very much like, hey, did you watch WWE in the early 2000s? Cool, we're just doing this feud to make sure we do it, and also because we need a good match to fill more time. Y'all cool with that?
And we both want closure on all that shit.
Alright, cool. That's all it needed to be, and it's like, it's fine, it's cool. I'm down for it. But next up...
then the thing.
Tony Schiavone comes out and goes like, alright, cool, we're going to talk to the one, the only Arn Anderson for a bit. And Arn Anderson comes out, and he starts to cut a promo. And then the lights cut out.
And very cleverly, early on in the Cody match, the lights had cut out, and they'd gone like, oh, sorry, there's shit weather today. so we're having some issues. Don't worry about it.
And see, here's the thing.
And
That fucking worked me, because I live in Florida, and I knew there was a tropical storm coming through.
I thought about that too. I thought about that too. And here's everybody watching this, because it's in the thumbnail, knows what we're about to talk about. But let me just say that, like, when this happened, I was like, oh man, this sucks. How long does this go on for? And then when the lights came back up, I like started to get out of my seat all hype, and then I quickly paused it, sat back down, and messaged you. If you haven't yet, put on Dynamite before you get spoiled.
Because like the lights went out, and there, like the commentary booth sold it perfectly. It's like, oh crap, hold on, folks, lights are out, things are going wonky. Which realistically, thinking back on it, if the power cut out, they wouldn't have power enough to broadcast.
Mm-hmm. But it makes you got to keep it's kayfabe. You got to keep that kayfabe
I know.
mindset.
In the moment, you're buying it.
Maybe the production truck has independent
generators,
power or something like that. And also just like it's a great way to get people out of this is going to be a debut mindset, because for so long in wrestling we've been trained to understand lights go out, somebody's about to debut.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But lights go down. They sell like, oh, it's power out. Lights come up. And the flying fucking Dutchman showed up, man. The angry European with knees.
Malachi Black in the ring.
And like they're selling it like Excalibur goes like, oh, that looks like Tommy Inn. That is Tommy Inn. But that's not Tommy Inn as we knew him, because he watched the video earlier today.
Mm-hmm. He hits Arn Anderson with a black mask. Cody runs out, and Cody gets hit with a black mask.
No. Cody in a full white suit.
Mm-hmm. And they both sell it like they just got hit with the Judas effect, the stunner, and the rock bottom all at once.
Oh god, it was beautiful. And everybody was just chanting Tommy in. I'm liking it, like, so far they're kind of keeping both names as, like, his persona. So he can be Malachi Black, but he can also be Tommy End.
I mean, his ad on Twitter is still Tommy End.
Personally, I think it is kind of like a Fiend situation where Malachi is the darkness within him, and Tommy is, like... Tommy's the fun, goofy guy who was on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla that everybody remembers. Malachi's the man beaten and broken by WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi's the man broken and beaten by an insane asylum.
Yeah.
You know, keeping the eye, keeping kayfabe, and going like, yo, anybody who followed me in WWE, that still counts. That counts.
It just hit me. Insane asylum. You'd have to be crazy to want to work there.
Fuck. Oh, but God, oh, so good. That made this the best Dynamite ever.
Yeah, because, fuck, it's your favorite wrestler coming into the company that we stan and immediately starting a feud with my favorite wrestler.
And you know your favorite wrestler's gonna lose.
And I'm not at all afraid of that. I'm just excited to see the match, because, like, wrestling literally does not get better than this.
Because, like, you have this beautiful storyteller of a wrestler with Cody. Perfect wrestling, perfect, like, classic psychology style wrestling with this very neo-psychology style striker and Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dear God, the stories they can tell, the promos Malachi can cut on, like, oh, you're a false messiah, and all that kind of like, oh, everybody believes in you, but look at you, you fall behind your base desires and all that kind of stuff. Are you really the savior
you claim to be when you couch yourself in so much imperialism like your forebears?
Like, you call yourself a nightmare, I am a nightmare. Like, there's so much that can be
No,
done, so much that can be said.
you call yourself a nightmare. I am a never-ending horror.
And then here's the thing. After the Cody feud, which is gonna be banger,
Hmm. It's probably going to go into All Out.
Andrade, Miro, Orange Cassidy,
Darby fucking Allen.
Sting, Lance Archer. Like, here's the thing. I don't think Malachi's going to be a face or a heel. He is going to be ultimate, true neutral. He is only there for himself.
He's
Never
fucking
work.
Galactus. He's beyond good and evil.
He is beyond. No one's ever truly good. No one's ever truly evil.
And he does the things you never could.
And you will never. God damn. And so many good matches that they can do. Also, Forbidden Door is open. He can go to New Japan and do some matches eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Moose.
Hell, he
imagine him versus Moose.
I was about to say he could go to Impact. Or Sammy Callahan.
John Moxley.
It's gotta happen, man. It's gotta happen.
Dude, imagine the promos between him and Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
And also, because here's the thing, Eddie Kingston's like a New Yorker Latino man. That dude's gonna be Catholic as fuck.
Yo, when Hangman after Hangman gets the belt, Malachi should feast on the scraps of Kenny Omega.
Dude, there's so much good shit. Oh man, the only thing I'll go like the only feuds I think like, what could you do with it? It's like Jungle Boy. I would love to see them have a match. I don't know how you would set it up. Maybe his celebrity father, but I don't know. It seems like a kind of low hanging fruit.
Maybe trying to warn him off a certain path, saying like this isn't as for you as you think.
Like Gargano, like the Gargano feud.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could work really well. Just like any singles wrestler dude in AEW, just have a match.
Dude, him and Matt Hardy.
Oh, that's
bring Broken back.
Just for that feud. If he wants to go back to Big Money Matt after that, yeah, do it. But like just that.
Dude, the other day when I did my last haul in that same Walmart where I found those Marvel Legends and those Power Rangers. They also had all of AEW Series 4. And I hadn't seen Matt Hardy in person yet. And I literally looked at the figure for a solid minute and I went, this is broken, Matt. If I'm going to get an AEW Matt, I'm going to wait until they do Big Money Matt. Put it back on the peg.
Yeah. I'm sad that Broken didn't get over as well as it could have. Because we love Broken Matt. Big Money Matt is perfect for AEW.
It was right place, wrong time.
Yeah. But dude, just him versus Pentagon.
Yes.
Spoopy Hitty Boys.
Mm-hmm. Dude, him versus Hobbs.
Oh. Cage 2, Starks, fuck.
Yeah. It's so exciting. It's so wonderful.
And like just the nuance in the way he was presenting his character. Like
and remember, this is just the first of many to come in the back half of this year because he got out early.
Yeah. They had a glitch in his contract.
There's a fucking clerical error. They did not give him a main roster contract ever. He was still on an NXT contract, which has a 30-day no-compete clause. So the other people with 90 days, they're fair game in a couple more weeks. Like I said, we could see Cassie Lee show up. We could see Chelsea Green show up. I'm trying to think of some dudes, but they're just not coming. But Buddy Murphy, fucking Buddy Murphy could show up in AEW.
And they already hinted at a Buddy Murphy feud.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like, oh, Matthew, and like Buddy Murphy retweeted the video.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hell, now that the world's opening back up, oh god, what was his WWE name? Miro's manager.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but
Lana.
he basically said, yeah, no, not Lana.
Lana's the WWE name. Oh, you're talking about his other manager, Aiden English.
Guy. Yes, Aiden English. He fucking said, now that the world's opening back up, I am open to doing indies and anyone that wants to book me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. With the way Miro is right now, I don't want him to team back up with Aiden.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm fine with him coming into AEW doing his own thing, but like, don't try and recapture Rusev Day.
No.
If he does come back to AEW, do a Rusev Day joke on BTE, and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
No, but there's a good number of women that can possibly come in and really bolster that division. I don't know her indie name, but Ruby Riott.
Heidi Lovelace.
Hi, dude. Oh, man. She was also part of that Northeast wrestling area with Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, that whole kind of group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they ran in the same circles at the same time, but like...
But yeah, if I would say this is probably the time I would want to see a bunch of female stars debuting in AEW, because I already listed off a bunch of them, but I'll just say it again. You know, the Iconics, Chelsea Green, we said Heidi Lovelace. Who's the other one? CJ Perry. That's Lana's real name.
Yep.
Just bring them all in.
I mean, with the way Miro's been talking about his hot, flexible wife, it'd be cool to see her in AEW.
Mm-hmm. And not necessarily be his manager. Just show up for segments with him every once in a while, but also have her own thing going on.
Very possible. But Jesus fucking Christ. Malachi.
Yeah.
Some people were complaining about how they were fucking talking about him on commentary. I'm going like, no. That makes
They're trying to establish he's not Tommy End anymore. He's Malachi.
Like, everyone's going like, oh, is he Tommy End or Malachi? Dude, fucking, do you not understand how dialogue works?
The whole goddamn conversation was JR going like, Tommy End, I kind of know that guy. What's going on? And Excalibur getting in his ear and going like, no, he's Malachi now.
But it was also more of like, that's not the man I knew. He feels different.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah, because Excalibur fucking said like, yeah, I wrestled that guy 18 years ago in fucking Dusseldorf, Germany.
God damn. It was
Which
good.
now makes me want to look that match up.
Oh, man.
But,
my boy is in a place where he can get what he wants done, do what he wants.
He could thrive.
God damn. I'm just gonna have to keep up on all the darks and everything just to get every match. Because I have not seen a match with him in so long. I'm just going like, give it to me.
You've been starved, and now you're gonna have a fucking smorgasbord.
Oh, man.
But after that, we got a brief recap of some stuff from AEW Dark, which is basically Ricky Starks came out to cut a promo after a Will Hobbs match, and then Brian Cage came out, tried to get in his shit, but Starks had security guards, and Taz basically stood in the corner the whole time and went, "What have I done? My sons are gonna kill each other."
Also pointing out, I was like, why'd you hire security, Ricky? This is a bad look on all of us.
Yeah.
Which I think might hint more towards Ricky Starks departing from Team Taz than Brian Cage.
That would be interesting.
Which would be interesting.
Yeah. But
then we had an intergender tag match between the Bunny, the Blade, versus Chris Statlander and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, you get to talk about both your boys tonight.
Both the boys. Both, like, what a fucking wild ass contrast between my boys.
You're literally that I have two moods meme.
Spoopy goth Dutchman versus, like, stoner.
Lazy stoner, yeah.
Goddamn.
But,
I want them in
I'm
a
glad
tag
that they
team. Give me a tag team with both of them.
That would be like the rock and sock connection of this company.
It'd be so beautiful. But what'd you think of this match?
I thought it was okay. It didn't like super captivate me, but it was pretty good. There was some good stuff with the brass knuckles and whatnot. Chris got to show off some amazing athleticism compared to what she's been doing so far. Like that delayed vertical suplex was just insane. And yeah, other than that, just a solid match all around. And hey, I like that they corrected themselves from last week and were like, yeah, this isn't actually the first mixed tag match. The Shaq match was a thing.
Yeah,
because even I didn't remember that until this week.
The first completely sanctioned tag match, intergender tag match.
Mm-hmm.
Just pull a Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
I thought this match was okay.
All right.
I think it was partially done, A, to have a women's match in the card, but also they wanted that Orange Cassidy pop.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like, I think that was genuinely the thought process behind this. Oh, we want to have a match between Bunny and Chris Statlander. But we also want to...
Go ahead.
But we also want to have an Orange Cassidy pop. Let's just do it together. Let's just...
Yeah. And because you put it that way, I also think like it was probably them testing the waters for an actual intergender match at some point. Because we do get a bunch of teases for like, oh, maybe Orange is about to fight the Bunny, and oh, the Blade almost attacked Chris.
Yeah, I would love... Because here's the thing, we all understand that blah, 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 wrestling scripted, wrestling planned, all that kind of stuff. So, like, there is a level of, like, I can buy this with intergender matches in pro wrestling, but also, like, Chris Statlander's not that much bigger than, like, not that much smaller than Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
The Bunny's not that much big, like, different size than, like, Darby Allin. They can have matches.
Yeah. And, like, here's the thing. On a personal level, I believe in equality in its truest sense. So as long as everything is consensual between the performers, who gives a shit if the men wrestle the women?
Right. Like,
just get a good story going and do it.
Yeah. That's why whenever we've talked about, like, our, like, fantasy booked dream wrestling indie promotion that we own, it's always pure intergender. There's no men's division, there's no women's division, and we just have two title belts, upper card and a main event and a mid card, and
a tag title.
Yeah, I was talking about singles, you know, and just whoever we want to have in the match is in the match.
Yeah,
no need to make a big fucking deal about it. It's just they're there, they are good.
Mm-hmm. But after that, we get a quick video package basically showing, like, hey, Jungle Boy got an award because he's the first wrestler in AEW to have 50 wins. Look at all these totally real news photographers taking a picture of him with it.
Man, Dark's really something, isn't it?
It sure is. Do you want me to take this next thing?
I mean, it's not that big of a thing. If you want to take it, we can take it.
I mean, so we get probably the most groan-worthy thing on the card, I would call it, because Tony Schiavone is outside the ring by the barricades. He's talking to some people who they had highlighted from the crowd a few times before, who are from a group called American Top Team, which is an MMA organization that I had never fucking heard of before. But they put these people over to the high moon, and then their manager trainer guy, who apparently has worked in Impact before. I literally did not find that out until I was watching Brian Zane while having lunch today. But the manager gets on the mic and basically just turns into Jim Cornette for 10 minutes. And like, it's not a bad promo, but it hits literally every beat you think it's going to make as it makes it, as you think they're going to go there. And it's just like, what is the point of this? And then Lance Archer comes out and hits a finisher on the guy, and he's like, that's fucking AEW. We're awesome. Fuck you, old man. And I'm like, was this directly them like calling out Cornette and his people? Is this setting something up? Is it just this guy was in town this week and they wanted to do something, so they threw it together? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like you could have cut this whole segment and nothing of value would be lost.
I mean, they wanted the hometown pop. That's what the segment is. It's, oh, hey, here's this slightly noted person who lives in this place. They are interested in wrestling to an extent. Hey, you want to come do a thing? Sure. Get a simple pop. It's the same thing as Kevin Smith coming in to promote his movie.
I can see that, but given that it was just such a niche person, it went completely over my head.
Because I think the bigger thing was the team he was representing. Because that woman that was there is one of the main fighters in UFC. She's like big name draw in UFC.
Yeah, and again, I didn't get that till the next day because like literally every member of the women's roster took a picture with her and put it on Instagram.
Like I'm pretty sure she's like height of Ronda Rousey when she was in UFC, good and popular. You know, that kind of thing. Like for people who are into MMA, like she's that level. So like, I'm not saying she's gonna be AEW's Ronda. I'm just saying like,
because AEW really shouldn't ever have a Ronda.
No. They have one. She's tiny and Russian.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine with the segment. It did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to be a small thing to get the crowd like invested in AEW. It was meant to just be like a chance for AEW against a guy who's like, yeah, fuck you.
Back in my day,
wrestlers took steroids.
Do you remember Hackenschmidt and Gotch? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I'll get your Gotch. Simon Gotch shoots on Enzo Amore. Now that video is going to be on your recommended for the next week.
Even though I like Enzo, I feel like he's a guy who's just made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
I fucking love watching that video. That video is fucking hilarious.
It just seems to be, like, not necessarily picking himself back up, but, like, seems to be on a better path lately.
Yeah. And he's got Morrissey watching his back in real life, so that's
that
good,
big cast, you can't teach that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did an interview with Chris Van Vliet a few months ago that was basically like, yo, DDP Jake the Snaked me. He fucking saved my life, and now I'm totally clean, and I'm on a good path again, and that's why I came back to wrestling. Also, I'm engaged to DDP's daughter, and I'm trying to help Enzo get to the place where I'm at.
Right. That's good. You know what? If they are at a good place and like AEW wants them, I wouldn't mind seeing them in AEW.
Mm-hmm. I know one person who would lose their shit over it.
Who?
Former coworker.
Oh, did he not like them?
No. He loved them. They were like his favorite wrestlers. And every conversation we'd have about AEW is just, when is Tony Khan gonna sign Enzo and Cass? He's leaving money on the table. And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I just spend the coin coin.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's made. But we have announcements for what is going to be happening next week. Fighter Fest. Day 1.
Night 1.
Night 1. Day 1. Night 1.
They call
Night
it
Watch. We have Darby Allin versus Page in a coffin match. We have Hardy versus Cage. Cage versus Starks for the FTW title. Ford Sakazaki.
Yay, Yuka Sakazaki's coming back.
Hell yeah! When's Maki Ito coming back? When's Maki Ito?
Be patient.
One can only simp for so long, sir.
I mean, have you seen my life? Well, someone can simp for a long time.
I know. But see, here's the thing. She's real.
You really want to have this conversation?
Hangman promo and Mox versus Anderson for the IWGP US Championship. Boy, that's going to be a fun card.
I'm thinking this Hangman promo might be where he takes charge of the feud.
Might be. Who knows? We'll find out next week.
Yeah. Looks like a solid card.
Sakazaki coming back is going to be fun.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing how a 2021 crowd will react to her. Because I barely remember how people were reacting to her in 2019.
Oh, God. Imagine the 2021 crowd reacting to Maki Ito.
But we then go to the main event, which is Penta El Zero Miedo with Alex Abrahantes and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks with Don Callis, Brandon Cutler, and Michael Nakazawa in a street fight for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I thought this match was pretty good. Not as good as the match that got them the title shot last week, but still pretty enjoyable. I love that the Bucks come out in basically street clothes, but they still have tassels because they tie bandanas to their pockets.
Yeah.
I loved, obviously, because there was some news earlier this week that Terry Funk has dementia, and it's kind of starting to take a turn for the worse. Eddie comes out wearing a Terry Funk shirt, which was very nice to see. And just all kinds of insane athleticism. And for the small amount of space they had outside the ring, they got a lot of plunder involved. They did a lot of crazy stuff. Penta hit a freaking Canadian destroyer onto the outside through a table on one of the Jacksons. This match did get crazy at points, especially during the ending where there was never that moment where I legitimately thought oh, they might take the title off the Bucks, but I was oh, they've got the crowd thinking that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing to do. I thought this match was pretty good. It was a good hardcore. It was it wasn't a hardcore match, but it was a good street match.
Yeah, because there's a difference between a street fight and a death match.
Right.
It's mainly the difference between trash cans and light tubes.
Yeah. Oh man.
Those fucking big ass metal trash cans that you only ever see in Walmart and wrestling matches. I don't think anybody actually uses those things anymore.
If you do use them, they're 50 years old and rusted half to hell.
Yeah.
No, I thought a lot of this was good. I thought a lot of the interference spots were really fun and funny. Eddie Kingston and Penta just perfect baby faces. But goddamn, that mouthful of thumbtacks super kick party.
Yeah, that ended the match. The Bucks did that, and they immediately pinned Eddie. Oh, crazy shit.
Yeah. But we end the show on that, and it's just damn. Damn, boy. That was a thick-ass show.
That was a pretty solid show. I feel like it started way hotter than it ended, but I'm kind of biased in saying that. So
Yeah, and I mean the midpoint was the highlight.
mhm. I feel like, you know what? I feel like there was very much peaks and valleys this week where we started off really strong. We had a definite come down period, and then we shot way up again, and then we kind of quickly fell back down to a midpoint that we settled at
Yeah.
going into the main event.
It doesn't help that like the fucking Malachi was just like legit. I was like, you know that thing when you get really excited and you, like your arms just do like that.
Hmm.
Like I was just like, oh god damn it, I don't know what to do with my arms. I'm
Yeah, I was like that's another thing to say about that debut. I was surprised that they were able to do that because remember TNT got onto them for Sting. They didn't want any more surprise debuts on TV. So I wonder if they've like had talks about stuff like that since
Here's the
then.
thing. They may be going like, we don't want surprise debuts for like big names like Sting. And TNT may have looked at him and was like, "Hey, he's not a big enough name. You can debut him, fine, whatever."
What if you fuckers get John Cena?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting John Cena anytime soon. You sure? He's working
No.
on Suicide Squad with us. No. Uh
That'll be the day when fucking reality cracks open when John Cena walks into an AEW ring.
no, that'll be the day Rock and Stone Cold do it.
See, like I could buy Stone Cold doing it more just because Tony Khan's been on his podcast.
Yeah. No, John Cena wouldn't. Randy Orton would be hell froze over to me.
Yeah. And remember, that almost happened.
I don't think it ever would have happened. I think he was literally just playing WWE. I mean, Tony Khan can give me more money. Fine, will give you more money. Sweet.
Probably,
He
but
texted
like,
FTR, "Hey, thank Tony Khan for me. I used his name to get more money."
but like Cody did say there were legit talks.
I can. Part of me
Like
also just,
Cody said once, yeah, we talked to him. Yeah, there was an offer, but I'm not bitter over it because that's just the way the business goes sometimes. Good for him if he's making more money.
yeah. I don't know. I just also don't see Randy Orton working that well within the AEW environment.
Oh no, he's a completely different kind of guy.
Like I can see him being friendly. Like current Randy Orton, now that he's calmed down, he's less angry, he's more mature. I can see him being friendly. I can see him hanging out backstage and not making a fuss and being cool. I don't think it's the right work environment for him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That being said, I'm still gonna fantasy book him in feuds with Hangman on my Instagram.
Oh, I've been seeing those. You wanna? Speaking of that, do we have anything else to say about this episode of Dynamite?
No, it was like I said, it was a peaks and valleys show, but the peaks were great peaks.
Then why don't you tell people where they can find your visual fan fiction?
Hey everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I'm a toy reviewer here on YouTube. I review all kinds of stuff: wrestling figures, comic book figures, maybe Star Wars figures in the not too distant future. But you can find my videos at youtube.com/the Vacuuminator. That is spelled TheVacuuminator. I'm also on Twitter, tweeting about everything and everything whenever I have time at the Vacuuminator. And I'm on Instagram posting action figure photography, which is where you can find the aforementioned fantasy bookings. That is on Instagram.com at the_Vacuuminator.
Alrighty then. Hey, howdy, howdy. I'm Chris Boing Rider Gaston. I make video essays and editorials on YouTube, known on Boingo Writer. Search me, you'll find it. I also do. My brain's frying right now. Duh.
Whoa.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, Boingo_Writer. I got some future projects up in the pipeline. I've told V-Man about it. Haven't I, V-Man?
You sure have.
And I also do several podcasts, this one included, and other ones such as No Prize Podcast, where me and back here talk about Marvel movies, merchandise, and more, as well as the Distinguished Competition. Right now we're talking about Loki. So if you want to see some of our thoughts about the L Man and the S Woman and the
Yeah,
Mobius Wow.
and we got a monster episode coming up this week because
Boof.
Black Widow drops tomorrow.
Yep. So tune in next Monday on this YouTube channel if you want to see some of that. Speaking of this YouTube channel, hey, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. We also have another show called Modular Components where we just talk, hang out, do stuff. Last 2 episodes, I think, were really good episodes. So if you want to start there, good on ya. It's one where I embarrass myself completely by showing off my high school artistic endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
And this last one was a really kind of just a chill one where me and Vac were just talking about childhood memories and shit.
It felt like the good old days of AF off mic shit.
Yeah, it was that kind of shit. Also, just giving brilliant psychic damage of, hey, you remember this shit? No, what the fuck is that shit?
Mm-hmm.
There's also one more podcast we have on this YouTube channel. Hey, why don't you tell the people about that podcast? Because it's yours and I'm not part of it.
All right. Hey, everybody. If you are into the world of Japanese live action special effects, shows like Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Garo, stuff like that, you'll want to check out This Week in Toku with myself and Miriam of Buster Core, which is a weekly podcast where we discuss all the latest news and episodes. And it's going to be quite the interesting episode coming up this week because we're going to be adding a new show this week. The first episode of Waku Saver, which is a Sentai parody show made by a Jav company. It's not porn, but it is made by a porn company. Is just came out and got subs. So we'll be talking about that this week.
It's not porn, it's the foreplay.
Yes.
You're free to use that in your podcast as you so please.
Thank you.
But if you're listening to this podcast on a podcasting platform, hey, follow us there and tell your friends about us because, hey, that's the best way to help us out. Do so and go forth and be dope, I guess. In the meantime, no final words about wrestling this week?
Feud of the year just started. Let's fucking go! Exclamation point.
That last one was technically 2 words.
Fuck you.
That's also 2 words.